All right, so I want to talk to you a little bit about some resources that might be helpful for you, because there's two main components to this. One is the research piece, right, and then the other piece is the creation, you creating some sort of multimodal text. So, one place I found really helpful for the kind of research you're gonna have to do here is Gale General on File or One File, and this is gonna look different depending on your school library. Um, this is Taft's library. I just kind of looked around at a lot of different libraries in the district and wanted to see what they all had. And Gale General One File allows you to type in something. And I wanted to learn more about puffy tacos, and I was hoping there'd be something about San Antonio and puffy tacos in there. And boom! But this is books. So when I go over to magazine, and I can also go to news. But when I go over to magazine, there are some articles here, right, that have to do with that. And the history of the puffy taco, luckily, has to do talks about San Antonio specifically. So I definitely wanted to read that one. And the great thing about this is you can save it in your Google Drive, download it, print it, email it to yourself, any of these topics, and then you can highlight or make notes. Um, and at the very bottom, keep scrolling, it cites it for you. You don't even have to recite it. You go to APA and then just copy and paste that over to wherever you're going to have your sources cited. Okay, so I think this is a really nice feature here. And anything you Google has, like, I think, like, let's say the Beatles. You wanted to find um, London around the Beatles or something like that. We got magazine articles. We got news articles here. So it's just a really helpful tool. Also, talk to your librarians. There are some other ones out there that are really helpful, but this is one that I just saw had a lot of more pop culture or things that were less like super academic research. And this will be a nice little shortcut for you. And it takes you to like just articles all over the web, Texas Monthly, New York Times, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So that's one place I think will be helpful for you to do your research. The other thing that might be helpful to you is to think a little bit about the infographic you want to choose. So this site is called PictoChart, and you go to pictochart.com, and then you'll log in, and you can log in using your Google login, and it'll just automatically take you there, and you can start saving your stuff. Now, every infographic template has a different purpose. As you see here, this is kind of a meeting agenda one, but it also has some beautiful big images of buildings. So if you really want to showcase the architecture or the food, or you want to showcase a singer, et cetera, and your images are more important than your words, at least for your vision, then something like this might be for you, right? Some of these are organized by like sequencing. So like maybe you have a step-by-step thing, or you want to show some chronological history about something with a 1, 2, 3, that might be helpful for you too, like this one over here. And then this is the one I chose, this one that says cat dog. I'm just going to click on use template just to kind of show it to you. So you saw my template. I changed the colors. I changed a lot of the pictures, right? But the reason why I liked this one is because it allowed me to do a compare and contrast pretty nicely. And my goal is to celebrate the puffy taco in general in San Antonio, not just a specific place. So I wanted to compare a couple places and give you some history. And I thought, wow, this will allow me to do that. And just put the two restaurants here and give you some information about them down here. And then I also wanted to give you some context here about the history of it. And so that's why I chose this one. And like I said, all of these things, all of these colors are changeable. All of these objects are changeable. So just something to keep in mind. And this is where you do all of those little things. But just being thoughtful about the infographic you choose, I think will really set you up nicely on what you do. And then also just a simple, easy place to go for your research. And I would say Gale General One File is probably the first place I'd start. But talk to your teacher, talk to your librarian, and they might have some other great resources that are specific to your campus or to what you want to research. Because different campuses have different library resources just depending on the needs of their campus. But this one, I believe, is in every library campus in the district. All right. I hope you find that helpful. I hope it helps you think a little bit more about how you might want to set up your research and your multimedia project.